Agriculture is a challenging job all over the world. Continuous use of chemical fertilizers and weedicides have damaged soils and killed beneficial organisms in the soil. As a result, soils have lost their structure, become hard and cannot hold water anymore.
The soil becomes hard when we apply chemicals. Rainwater does not easily enter into the hard soil. Also, beneficial earthworms may die, so crops won't grow well. If earthworms are there, crops will be healthy.
Another problem is that machines plow so deeply that the fertile topsoil goes down and the unfertile soil comes up. Heavy machines also compact the soil. Due to all this, crops germinate poorly and have poor root penetration. Crops grow poorly and often turn yellow. Small farmers traditionally break the clods by hand with a small tool. This is hard work.
I am an organic farmer. Previously, we had many laborers to help with farming. Now, there are less laborers. Many have moved to different places doing other jobs. Due to this labor shortage, we have to depend on machines for every farming activity. But money is the major problem for me to fully depend on machines. I searched for alternatives to do weeding and found that I can make my own clod breaker using wood to do all those farming activities.
In this video, farmers from southern India will show us how to make a clod breaker, which is a type of harrow that rolls across the field. The clod breaker can break up soil in much finer particles than breaking the soil by hand. While machines often plow 30 centimeters deep, an animal-drawn clod breaker reaches a depth of 15 centimeters only. It uses no fuel and is good for the environment. A clod breaker can be used to preparing the nursery and the field on any type of soil for any crop. You can use the clod breaker on unplowed land or after a single round of land preparation.
Seeds won't germinate if you sow them in hard soil. But when you sow in fine soil, the seedlings will grow well. Earlier, when transplanting paddy, the roots would break and get damaged. But now, with the clod breaker, we don't face such issues anymore. When we plant seedlings, they will grow healthy and rich. Without root damage, the crop grows well.
A soil with a good structure has more pores to store water, which is good for crop growth. By using a clod breaker, you also spend less energy and time for managing weeds. As the soil structure is smooth, it is also easier to remove weeds.
The clod breaker will bring up the hidden weed seeds from the soil. Exposure to the sun kills the weed seeds, so fewer weeds will grow.
Now that we know the benefits, let's see how we can make our own clod breaker with materials that are available in the local market. You can use any type of strong wood. Cut a log of 30 centimeters in diameter and 1 meter long. Remove the bark and shape it into a smooth cylinder. Now make two axles to enable the cylinder to rotate. Take an iron axle of about 40 centimeters long and 2 centimeters thick. Make a hole in the center of a square iron plate and weld the axle halfway into the hole. Make a hole of 2 centimeters wide and 20 centimeters deep on each side of the cylinder. Attach the plates with the axle to the center of each side of the cylinder. The wooden log should be strong enough that it can be pierced with iron spikes. You need at least 40 spikes of about 15 centimeters long. Pound them at uniform spacing in the wooden log. Cut two flat wedge-shaped wooden blocks about 8 centimeters thick and 1 meter long. On the narrow end of the wooden block, cut out the center portion of about 2 to 4 centimeters wide and 5 to 10 centimeters deep. At the other end of the wooden blocks, take an iron plate of 5 by 3 centimeters. To this iron plate, attach an iron pipe which is large enough to fit loosely around the end of the axle, so the axle will rotate within the pipe. Now place this iron plate attached with the iron pipe to one side of the wooden block so that the axle of the cylinder rotates freely. And fix a nail in both ends of the axle. Now cut two wooden logs 2 meters long and 3 to 5 centimeters thick. Fix one end of the log into a notch cut into the center of the wooden block. For easy turning, fix the logs with screws and nuts. Use nuts and bolts to connect the other ends of the logs together in a triangle shape. Put a small wedge-shaped piece of wood between the ends of the logs for additional support for the shape. To make the yoke, cut another wooden log 2 meters long and about 8 centimeters thick. Make a hole on both ends of the log. In this hole, you have to tie the animals to pull the clod breaker. Mark the center of the log and fix the triangle to the center of the log. If you already have a yoke, you can attach the triangle to the yoke. Cut a board 1.5 meters long and attach it on the two flat wooden logs. This board is the seat. Now that we know how to make a clod breaker, let us see how to use it. The clod breaker is not heavy and can be hand-pulled, or two bullocks can drag the wooden log with someone sitting on the seat. While dragging the clod breaker, someone has to sit on it to ensure the pokes press into the soil. Never let your children sit and operate the clod breaker because it is too dangerous.
The clod breaker with bullocks can only be driven by adults. Children should never drive it, as it is made with many nails which may injure them.
To prepare your nursery, drive the clod breaker 4 to 6 times on the same day over the nursery bed in alternate directions. The more you drive the clod breaker over the nursery area, the finer the soil will get. To prepare your field, drive the clod breaker 3 to 5 times over your field. Go from one end of the field to the other and then go back again.
When the cloud breaker is drawn by animals, each round will take 2 to 4 hours to prepare a field of half a hectare.
So, what have we learned? Soils take many years to build but can be destroyed by continuous use of heavy agriculture machines, chemical fertilizers and herbicides. This results in poor yield and even crop failure. By driving the clod breaker over your field in opposite directions, the soil will become loose, aerated and absorb more water. The clod breaker is a simple wooden tool made out of a cylindrical log with iron spikes. It can be pulled by animals or even by an adult person. The clod breaker is a harrow that you roll over your field to break up hard soil and clods of earth.
When I saw my neighbor's field, it was green, well nourished, and the yield was really good. I was surprised and asked him how he did. He said he made a machine. By using the machine, the weeds are easily removed and the soil becomes soft and fertile. I asked him to lend that machine for my field. Instead, he taught me how to make a clod breaker. It is very easy to make. From now on, I also use a clod breaker. Now, my field also looks good and healthy and the soil is in very good condition.